So Tonee, generally been very good at, you want to do something, you have an idea, you just go ahead and do it, you know. Rina, tomorrow let's go to Mombasa for New Year's, and it's like, okay, and we go.
And we did.
So what is that? Like, is that inborn? Is it, you know, how is it that you've been able to be so adventurous and explore whatever opportunities there are before you?
Growing up as an 844 kid, as many Kenyans would remember, we were taught that education is the way you get to go ahead. Do you remember that song? So many vijana, every morning 6 o'clock. Then he said, when you are done reading at the end of the day, you'll get a fantastic job. Well, I hated that concept. I hated the concept of having to live like my parents, where you get out in the morning at 6 and come back in the evening at 8.
What did you hate about that?
The structure of it was a bit, nobody shone in that kind of industrialized, do what you're supposed to kind of system.
Okay.
It robbed you of the fun of life. It robbed you of the spontaneity of trying to do things your way and coming up with your own solutions. It made you a piece of a very big cog. And I felt like that was unfair. Not to mention I never fit in that system very well. I was dyslexic.
You were?
Dyslexic. Which basically means I struggled learning. I was very good in primary school because primary school was more open. It was not limiting. I was not in a school that was as stifling as many primary schools in Kenya are now.
So when did you discover you were dyslexic?
In my 20s. Because when I went to high school, and I went to Mangu, which is like, you know, smart kids go to Mangu.
You went to Mangu?
Yeah.
How did you yes, I remember that. How did you even pull that off?
I was super smart in primary school. I was like number 6 in like the province or something ridiculous. And I was like crazy. I did a really good job. And I didn't
so maybe you can define dyslexia so that we understand.
Dyslexia is where you learn, there's different forms of dyslexia, but dyslexia is where there's a cognitive, the word is not imbalance, there's a cognitive reprint of your mind where you learn more from visual aids more than textual inputs, which basically means I understand stuff I watch, not necessarily stuff I read.
Okay.
So textbooks in primary school that had many photographs, I could remember them just once. I just read it once and I get it. But then as I got into high school where you've got typeset, books are from the 70s and 80s in Mangu, it's old school, things got thick, man. I started becoming number 1 from the back of the class. I was not a smart kid. And then I knew I was a smart guy, but I knew the system didn't work for me. So the best way to cope with that kind of problem is find the thing that you're good at and do it, and not give yourself an excuse not to do it. And that became a culture. It became the way I got to do things. If I wanted to do something, I went after it. And I just kept going until either the thing died or I died. That had to be one of the two.
Okay.